Sex furniture, sex toys, sex aids. Should you buy these to improve your sex life? I'm Dr. Veena Malik, urologist and pelvic surgeon, and today I'm going to be talking about things that might make a world of difference for your sex life, which are called sex aids. Now, these are a variety of tools that are designed to either enhance comfort, performance, or satisfaction around sex. And they can be incredibly beneficial for those who maybe have issues with mobility or might be experiencing some physical limitations in terms of sex. Or they may be fun to experiment with to just try some new positions or introduce some novelty in your relationship. Let's start by talking about some of the interesting furniture or accoutrements you can buy to help with positions. First up is called the Body Bouncer. So this is essentially a spring-loaded seat, and this can allow you to have more sort of dynamic movement during intercourse. It also can help alleviate some of the strain on your joints. So if you're having things like arthritis or joint issues, it may be a fun way to allow you to be more comfortable, have more sustained motion, and make intimacy easier and more enjoyable. Now, if you decide to try any of the things I recommend today, one, I'll include some links in the description so you can try some out, but also make sure you talk to your partner about it before you bring it to the bedroom and make sure they're on board. Novelty is great, fun, exciting. It can make for significantly more satisfying and pleasurable sexual encounters, but you need to make sure you and your partner are both on board because, again, sex is a touchy subject that none of us know how to talk about. And so it's important to make sure you at least bring it up and say, hey, would this be something you'd be interested in trying, and give it a shot. Foam positioning pillows. Now these can come in a number of different shapes, sizes, and they can include things like wedges, ramps. There's even rocking designs you can find. Now these can help you sort of maintain more comfortable and effective positions during sex, which then allows you to focus more on the experience and less on maybe holding a certain position that's uncomfortable. And they really do offer excellent support, and they can alleviate any pressure on your back, on your hips, or your knees. So that's obviously great for people who might struggle with that, but also it might allow you to go that extra round with your partner. If you are young and healthy and are trying to have multiple rounds of sex, you might be like, oh, I am pretty tired, but this will allow me to add a little bit of support. You can even buy ones that are blow up so you can travel with them. And some of the reviews online say you didn't know you needed it until you got it. So it might be worth a shot because it's pretty innocuous. It's just a little foam pillow. And if you don't use it for sex, there's a whole host of other things you can use it for. Now, if you have mobility issues or motor control difficulties, you can also get other aids. First off, let's start with position support straps. Now, these may look like they're just for people who are interested in BDSM, but they do allow your partner to be comfortable in a certain position, so it can be easier to maneuver and remain in position. Also, it can allow for you to try some positions that maybe were not available to you. Next up is door jamb swings. Now, door jamb swings, again, they sound like something you would use for BDSM, but these can be used with door frames, specifically those that are able to maintain some weight. These themselves can hold usually around 300 pounds, but make sure you check out the weight limit, and they allow you to really try out a whole bunch of different positions and, of course, add novelty to your sex life. Now, these obviously provide support, but if you wanted to have intercourse standing up, you no longer now have to lift your partner. The swing does that work. It allows you to then try new positions and add new variety to your sex life. Next up is the G-spot link. Now, the G-spot link allows you to easily lift up both of your female partner's lower extremities to help you better identify and find the anterior vaginal wall, or the G zone. Now, if you don't know, the G-spot is actually not a real thing. It's actually a zone, and check out my video on the G-spot if you want to learn more. But essentially, it also helps with people who maybe have weaker lower extremities where it's difficult for them to raise their legs. And lastly, the intimate rider. Now, the intimate rider is a specially designed chair that provides sort of a gentle gliding motion. And it's perfect for those who want to reduce strain on their body while still enjoying sexual intercourse. Now, these just look like regular chairs, and they're generally used more so for people who have physical limitations because they're pretty costly. But if you don't have any cost limitations, it could be a fun, interesting thing to try, particularly if you're struggling with maintaining the endurance necessary to do certain positions for sexual intercourse. The last thing I'm going to talk about is vibrators. Now, a lot of people have strong feelings about bringing vibrators to the bedroom, but the important thing to realize is that on average, it takes men about 5 to 6 minutes to reach climax during sex, whereas for women, it can take up to 14 minutes to reach climax during sex. And so sometimes this leads to fatigue for the person who's stimulating the female partner. And in order to sort of combat that fatigue, vibrators can be a really fun way to reduce the amount of physical effort that's required to allow your partner to reach sexual satisfaction. So they can be really a fun way to incorporate variety in the bedroom. Now, vibrators come in all different types of shapes, sizes, intensities, speeds, and they allow you to really experiment and play and decide different sorts of things that you might enjoy and obviously things that you may not. And realizing that when you start doing new things in the bedroom, it may not work out as well as you wanted, but that doesn't mean that you need to give up. This can be really fun and exciting once you get the hang of it and you figure out which sort of things are actually fun to do together and which are not. There also are vibrators that in a heterosexual relationship, the man can wear while he's penetrating the partner, so that can be fun for both of you at the same time. So I encourage you all to check out a website or check out a store near you and try and experiment with new things. You can buy relatively affordable vibrators on Amazon if you don't want to go to the store, or a variety of stores where you can get sex toys. So try it out. And if it doesn't work, it's okay. You go back to trying other things, and ultimately it could lead to better sex, more fun, and overall more pleasure for both parties. Now, lastly, remember, the goal of using aids like this is to make you more comfortable and able to enjoy intimate moments fully. There is absolutely no shame in seeking out tools that make sex more fun. So please feel free, feel comfortable, feel confident. If you are new here, make sure to check out my podcast, the Rita Malik MD podcast, where I do solo episodes as well as interview experts around the world who will help us learn about sexuality and health from a different lens. The podcast is available on YouTube as well as on any major podcast platform. And if you're already listening to the podcast, do me a favor, leave me a rating or review on Apple or Spotify so that more people around the world can learn from the podcast as well. And as always, remember to take care of yourself because you're worth it.